Hey everybody, this is Andy Thomas with the Revelation Station, coming to you with an interview. This is our first interview on the channel, and the first interviewee is actually my wife, Liana Thomas. So say hi to everybody.
Welcome.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on the show and giving us your story. I think you have a really cool story that will help a lot of people, specifically around the topic of sleep paralysis. So why don't you just kind of dive into some of your story and just kind of explain maybe what recently just happened with you.
Okay. So I've always struggled with sleep paralysis, even when I was really, really young. It actually also affected my father as well as like my siblings. And so to me, it was like a normal occurrence. I would probably have I called it, what do you call that? I would have like I call them episodes, maybe like once a week. And, before I became a Christian, I thought that was just normal. But now after realizing, after I became a Christian, after realizing like the spiritual realm, I kind of noticed how those really have connections. They're tied together. And so to tell my story about what happened recently about this episode that I had. So I'm gonna start with maybe just backing up a couple days ago, a couple nights before this actual story. I've had really, really bad sleep paralysis. I would have maybe 4 to, I would say 8 episodes in one night. And when you're wanting to sleep, you just want to relax, but with that many episodes that I've had multiple nights, it started to get me anxious, and I couldn't sleep at all. Like I was almost scared to go to sleep. So there was this night
why don't we explain to the people what sleep paralysis is?
Oh yeah.
What do you describe that as?
Yeah, so sleep paralysis, it's basically you are in a sleeping, like, I guess, mode, like, and then all of a sudden you start like becoming conscious, but you can't wake up. Like your mind is awake and you can't move any part of your body, and it just feels like you're being sucked in deeper into your sleep, and it becomes harder and harder to try to like wake up. And you want to wake up just because obviously you start feeling that fear. I mean, who wants to sleep in fear, And also it can cause some bad dreams. I mean, when you have a bad dream, you naturally wake up. But sometimes I would have episodes where I would have a really, really like horrific dream, and I just want to wake up and I couldn't. And so it's like when your mind's awake, you can't move. You're conscious, but your body is like in a sleeping state. So that's basically my experience. I don't know if any other people have experienced something different, but that's my experience.
So it's kind of like your mind is awake, but your body's still asleep in a way, right? And the experience is usually like almost like a horrific kind of nightmares. And I think you explained it to me as well. Like it feels like almost somebody is like holding
something
you down.
Is holding you down to not move.
Yeah.
Like you can't even make a sound. Well, you can.
I've tried that
before, right? Like I would just like do
but
that.
You can't get words out. It's like almost like they're putting their hand over your mouth.
Yes, absolutely. Like completely paralyzed.
Completely paralyzed.
And that's obviously scary. So you want to try to like wake up.
Yep.
And there's times when you wake up, you get sucked back into it, which is really tricky. So before, what I used to do, before I became a Christian, my father told me just get up and drink some water, get your mind awake and then go back to bed. But that hasn't worked lately. And so lately what I've been doing after I became a Christian, I would just say get behind thee, because knowing that there's a spiritual aspect to it, I know there's like bad spirits that are messing up with my sleep, that are wanting to disrupt my rest, because God wants us to rest, and that's his gift for us, and so I would just say some prayers or say some verse. So yeah, like even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. and then that seemed to help. But going back to my story, when I was saying how the past couple of days I would have episodes almost every day.
Yeah.
And multiple episodes in one night. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just completely ruins your sleep rhythm and, and all these different
absolutely
things.
Yeah. So,
yeah. So
do you want me to go to the story, or
why don't you jump into this specific encounter, how you started to actually overcome and really face those fears and what that did for you?
Yeah. So with all of the episodes that I've experienced, I was literally getting frustrated. I was done. I was like tired of it. And there was one night where I was sleeping in a couch, and I just had a recent episode before then, so I, turned on the light in our kitchen, and I got attacked. And it was after, this is so weird, it was after my husband had came out of a room, and he noticed that my lights were dark. I mean, the lights were on, and so he turned it off, and you know how darkness, that place would like evil.
Yeah.
And so that's what I got attacked. And there was this weird, eerie sound. It was almost like, remember that?
Yeah.
There was like a scream that I heard as I was
like
trying.
a shriek,
yeah. And I can't really like replicate the sound because it would be impossible for a human being to do that. But I was trying to wake up as much as I can. I would try to move, wiggle my fingers or toes, even try to like pinch myself. But I finally able to wake up. And so fast forward the second story, I was in our bed, I was already asleep. And like what I mentioned, I was tired of it. I was like, something's gotta change. I had to take authority of, the gift that God has given me, the authority to speak against the devil. And so there was this night where I was asleep and I got attacked. And this time the way I reacted wasn't the way that I reacted to majority of the times that I got attacked. I was calm. Before I would panic, I would just immediately fear because I know it's gonna be really, really bad. And so I was calm. In my sleep, it's weird because your mind, like I said, is so awake. And I just had this vision, okay? I just had this vision. It was like I saw myself sleeping, and there was like this huge creature. It was like a human form, but it wasn't definitely of God, I mean, you can just tell this, should I say demon?
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell it was the demon because it had fangy teeth, and then it was also like bulky, and he wasn't really wearing any clothes, but it was dark in my room in my vision, and this demon was like standing on top of me, and I saw it was a guy. It was a manly form, and it was so weird. It almost reminded me of, if you've seen the Venom movie, like Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, it's the Spider-Man.
The bad Spider-Man. Yeah. Because of like the mouth and just the face. And so I spoke to this demon and said, "Tell me your name." And that one actually is inspired from the past couple of nights we've been watching The Chosen. Remember that show? And when I think Mary of Magdalene was like, there was this like scene on the show where they were trying to cast out this man that had a demon. And so she said, "What is your name? What is your name?" And so that really like inspired me to say that and literally face my fears, because for the longest times I've been trying to just pretty much bow down to it,
almost run away,
try to
wake up,
try to wake up, or just allow it to torture me. And the conversation, we didn't have really a conversation. I just said, "Tell me your name. What is your name?" And it was so amazing too, because in my vision I wasn't scared at all. It was just so empowering, and I know it was like God giving me the strength to face this demon that has tortured me for my whole life. And you know, it was on top of our bed. I didn't see my husband there. It was just me in a sleeping position, and must have been my spirit, you know, came out of my body and confronted this demon, and it went away. I mean, it looked at me, and then it went away outside of our window, like just, I don't know, magically.
So it like jumped out the window.
Jumped out of the window.
When you started to like actually confront
yes,
it with your authority that you have.
Yeah.
And not just bowing down to it or submitting to it.
Yeah.
All those things.
Yeah. And yeah, and so I don't really know what happened after that, but here's what I can tell you. This is my testimony. I've never had any sleep paralysis episodes since then. And this happened, like, I would say 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I would have certain like episodes, but very short. Not like what I used to have before, where it was just so horrific. Yeah. So, but not as much as I used to before. I would say maybe once a month, compared to like multiple times.
Yeah.
In a week or even one night.
Yeah. And this thing, I think you described it to me as well, like, just to paint a bigger picture. So this creature, this demon thing, it had like, was it like a green colored almost skin? Was it was more pale, or? It
was a pale brownish color. Like,
pale brown.
Yeah, it looked like, yeah, and it had some tone of gray. It's hard to.
So more grayish.
Grayish and brownish. Yeah.
Okay. And then And then the eyes. You explained the eyes to me. Was it like sunken into his head? Was that right?
I can't really remember the eyes. One thing that stuck to me was the mouth, because I saw like just.
They're just all like almost like a shark's teeth,
yes,
like just these
yeah,
jagged
and
things.
you know, with Venom, you know how they had like those over like curved smile. I don't know.
Yeah, like a freaky.
Freaky smile. So that's what really stuck to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing too that you mentioned was it was tall.
It was tall,
right?
like
so it's
it
muscular,
reached
tall,
over to our ceiling, and I was just like looking at it. And
we
like,
have
what is your name?
Probably at least 10-foot ceilings, right?
Yeah.
8 to 10 feet.
Yeah,
ceiling.
and this creature was standing on top of my body. So it made sense when I explained how it felt when you were in an episode, how it was something was pushing you. There was just this weight on top of you that you can't like move, obviously, because you can't wake up.
Right.
So remember how, previously to that too, remember, because I said I have multiple episodes in that night, remember how you heard me try to like call you using my, like my, I guess
I
my
could
vocal,
hear almost like a mumble.
a wincing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That story I was saying with the demon, it happened after that. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's the story, and I hope that helps some people out to like really not just flee, not just submit to these spirits that are trying to inflict fear into you or to disrupt your sleep. I hope that this story helps you guys to really face those fears and confront these spirits, these evil spirits that are holding you down. Confront them so that you can overcome any sleep paralysis, any disturbing dreams that you're having, because that's, at the end of the day, they have no power, they have no authority over believers in Christ Jesus. So once you come to that realization of the identity of who you really are as a child of God, as a son or a daughter of God, you understand that Satan and all of his demons are underneath our feet because of what Jesus Christ did on the cross for us, that he paid it all, and we share in his inheritance.
Yeah, and the authority.
And the authority, right? So thanks everybody for checking out this video. I hope it helps you. Signing out. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.